I'll give you a tutorial about how I came up with spreadsheets for the contraband contest. And I'll try to make this as quick as possible. First thing you want to do is come up with a folder in your Google Spreadsheets, and I'll just mark one for recap. That's what I'll be working with first, and I've got the first judge. And I find it easier if I have two separate pages. I don't have two monitors. And so if you have one page labeled recap, which I have here, so I just have this on another window, and then you put in all this information that you'll need for the contest. And I believe that you have three auditorium judges, and then Jeff Wilson's going to be doing sight reading. Once you get this all set up, then you're all set to start importing data into the judge's sheet. You could copy and paste this, but if you import the data, you only have to make the change once. If you change it here on the recap sheet, it will automatically import all the data into each of the judge's sheets. So what you'll do with your other window, you go to the spreadsheet that you came up with. And this is Boderman's. And I've already had this stuff set up, which you'll need for each of the judges. So I'm going to import the time, class, and school for each of the judges. And you do this by doing an import range formula. Now I'm going to make this larger so you can see it better. So you type on the first cell, to be time, you type equals, and then import. And you'll see it come up import range. Select import range. Then you click apostrophe, and then go back to the recap sheet because you want to import this page. Copy and paste this page. So it's hit copy, back to here, and then I paste it, Control V, hit the quotations, then a comma, another quotation, then going back to the login page, you're going to, this is in case you have different tabs down below here. And I think it's really important that you rename this tab as recap. So I just double click it, rename to recap. It'll make it easier for later on. So the data that you want to import is going to be the time, class, and the school name. So you select all of those cells, and then you'll see right here, circling, that cell A5 to C12, A5 to C12. I click on the name box, I copy that, go back to the judge's sheet. Oh, I forgot to do something. Skipped a step. So this is recap, the name of the page. So after this quotation mark, type in the name of that page, which is recap, exclamation point, and then paste in the cells, which we saw was A5 through C12. Quotation, parentheses, return. Now, sometimes it'll come up, it'll show up later on. It will show you an alert. Don't panic, it will be okay. So I'll get to that when we come up to it. So now you've got the names of the schools and times. And the next thing you want to do on this sheet is total up the scores. So on this first cell, you can either hit the sum function, or you hit equals, and equals always shows that there's going to be a formula coming up, sum. You can click on it that way as well. Highlight the cells that you want to have added and hit return. From this point on, you want to do the same thing for each of these cells, but instead of having to type sum every time, just select all the schools totals and hit Command D or down. And then you'll see it right up here. That's the sum of D5, G5. This is the sum D6, G6. It just saves you a lot of time. So you'll see if you put in the numbers here, it'll add everything up for you, and so forth. The other thing that you'll want to do, and this is so that the judges can keep track of which band or placing the bands correctly, is you want to rank the files or rank the bands. So on this first rank column, type equals, which is your formula, and then rank. Select rank, and then select this first cell that you want to have ranked, which is H4. Comp, I'll get this bigger. I'm going to do this again so you can see it better. Let me enlarge this. Okay. So equal rank, select rank, select the first cell that you want to have ranked, comma, and then click and drag and select all the cells that you want to have ranked. Now, you see it's H4 through H11. There is one more step that you have to do. And on the Mac, you hit function, or the FN button, function F4, and you'll see $signs come up for each column in each row. If you need to, you can put in the $sign for each of those spots, but it's much easier to go function and then F4. Next thing you do, hit the comma and then 0, and this will be in ascending order. 0 is ascending, so it'll be first place through 8th place, whatever. Parentheses, return, and you can just go ahead and select autofill. So now this will rank all the bands immediately. And there you go. That's that part. The other thing I like to do for the judges is put a spot for notes. I'm going to do this now. Go ahead and put borders in it. So for notes, they can just write different notes about each of the bands. And I'm going to select that entire column, go up to the text wrapping icon, and click the middle one, which is wrap. That way, they can type as much as they want to. Doesn't matter. They usually won't type this much. Hit return, and they'll be able to see notes about each specific band. The last step I do on the judges sheet, oh, I already did it down here. I forgot. I was practicing. Is you want to have them ranked in order. So to do that, again, you're going to use the formula. So you hit, now I'll make it bigger. Too big. Okay, so I put your ranking score in place. Hit equal, and the name of the formula is query. You just push Q and this query thing comes up. So select query. Look here so you can see. And then you're going to select all the information you want to put in for the ranking score in place. And it doesn't really matter. I usually just do the school, click and drag all the way through rank. So I'm selecting C4 through I11. Hit comma. I'm going to do this again just because it's kind of hard to see with all that stuff. Let me start again. Equals query. That's better. and then select the data, comma, and then quotation mark, select, and then write in your columns. So I hit a space. I want column C for the name of the schools, column G for their total score, column I for the rank, and hitting a comma in between each of those, quotation mark, parentheses, return. So the judges can see. Okay, go there. Oh, I forgot something. My fault. It's been a long day. I'm going back up to this formula. So select C, H, and I, and then you type in order by, I'm going to do by the total, which is column H. Order by H descending. So column C, H, and I, and I'm going to order it by H descending, quotation mark, parentheses, there. So now the judges can see that Crook County's got the highest score so far, Malala has the second highest score, and so forth. And the nice thing about this is that the judges can always go back and change the scores. They use this as a tote sheet. It adds them up, ranks them. So if they figure that, well, actually, Gladstone 2 was a little bit higher than that, and this score is too high, just click on the cell, type in the new numbers, and everything is grand. So now you've got the score, the ranking, the score, and the place. So that is it for the judges sheet. I'm going to go ahead and erase all the scores for right now. Erase the notes. And of course, you can pretty this up by making this centered. Whatever you want to do. That's your call. Okay, so now we've got one judge. We got Mary Lou's sheet done. So to make things much quicker, I learned this the hard way. So this sheet's all set to go. So select all, command all. Oh, I forgot one important thing, which I would have gotten to. For each of these tabs down below, again, it's sheet one because it's a new sheet. Label these tabs with the judge's name, and it will make sense in a little bit. All right, so Mary Lou Boderman's done. Command A, select all, copy. Now go back to the folder you've made up. You're going to add a new sheet and say this is Tim's sheet. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Old computer. Still waiting. There it is. Okay, so title that spreadsheet. Whoops. With the judge's last name. And before I forget, go down to the sheet name. And again, label that. Once that is all set, click on the first cell, hit Command V or paste. See, here's that reference with the exclamation point. Don't worry about it. Just hover over it. And it says you need to connect these spreadsheets. Just hit Allow Access. And there you go. Again, you can just kind of make things up a little bit pretty. If I remember correctly, yeah, for some reason, it doesn't keep the same font or the how it's centered. So you just kind of have to change this to whatever font or whatever size you want. And that's kind of a pain, but I don't know any other way to do it. And you can make this neater by selecting these cells. And I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. Make the notes bigger. And then again with the notes, go to the wrap sign. It doesn't, again, when you paste it, it doesn't take into account this stuff. So hit the center wrap and you're done. You're done with Tim's. And you've got one more judge. We'll go ahead. Who was it? I forgot who it was. Oh, So go back to the folder, click New Spreadsheet. I did it wrong. You wait for the old computer to work. Still working. I just want to get his name right, so I just copied it. Okay, let's judge's sheet. Rename it. Now I've got to go back to Mary Lou's sheet or Tim's sheet. Do the same thing. Command A, Command A, Command C for copy. Go to Eric's sheet. Command V for paste. And it didn't do it. So we try it again. Copy. Is it pasting? Oh, it's just taking a while. Okay. There's that scary thing reference. Just hover over it. Allow access. And same thing as before, you have to change all these cells to get the right size font. Okay, so you've got Eric's, Tim's, Mary Lou's sheet. So now I'm just going to just put in some random numbers just quickly. I'm not going to do them all. That's too high. Let's do one more. So what's Mary Lou, Tim, I'm not going to spend time on putting into numbers. I just want to show you the next step. Make sure everything's adding up correctly. Yep, there it is. And yep, so it takes care of all the adding. No more errors with adding. That's huge. Ranks the bands. The judge will be able to see the ranking, the score, and their place. And that is how you do the judges sheets. The next thing you want to do is now you're going to import that data into the master recap. So you go to this other window. There's master recap. And like before, when we were importing the data from all this stuff, the schools and the times, into the judges sheets, now you're going to import the data, the scores from the judges sheets into the recap. So we'll start with Mary Lou. And I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see. So you're going to do import range. So you do the equal sign because it's a formula. Import And there's import range. Select, quotation, go back to Mary Lou's page, copy the web address. So copy that, paste, Control V, quotation, comma, quotation, and now you put in whatever the tab is. The reason for this, you can have, like for the state solar contest, some of the judges have 5 or 6 tabs down there. And so you have to that's why you have to put in the name of the tab. So put in her name, Boderman, exclamation point. Now you want to do the range. So quality of sound all the way through total. Don't do rank. There's you don't need it for the recap. You'll do a rank with all the judges, but not for each specific judge. So you've got these selected. Go up here to the name box. That's D4 through H11. Yep, D4, H11. Copy that. Control C. Go back to the master recap. Control V. So there it is, D4 through H11. Quotation, or sorry, yeah, quotation and parentheses. Hit return, hover over it, allow access, and there you go. And you can see this in real time. So if I go back over to here, and this is nice because, like for the state contest, you can see things going on in real time. And if there's an issue with one of the judges, that you can go in and talk to that judge. And we had to do that with the state contest last year. You're going to do that with each judge. I'll do sight reading in a little bit. So now we'll do Eric's. So again, equal, import range, quotation, copy his page. I can't see which one it is. There it is. So copy, back to the recap, paste, do this so you can see. Quotation, comma, quotation, judge's name, spell it. Oh, E-U-N-G, okay. Quotation, now select the range again. It should be the same as every judge. So oh, I have to refresh the page because it kind of got messed up. All right. Quality of sound. Sorry, slow computer. Okay, quality of sound through the total. That's D4 through H11. You can also just type it in. I just like copying and pasting better. So paste, quotation, parentheses, return. Don't panic. There you go. And we'll do one more so we have it all up here. We'll do Tim now. So Tim, I'm just going to copy the web page right now. Equals, import range, quotation, paste the web page, quotation, comma, quotation, judge's last name, that's on that tab, exclamation point, just to make sure. Refresh. You can also just type it in D4 through H11. Usually I use a different computer, but this is the only one that has the Zoom access. So D4 through H11, copy, paste, quotation, parentheses, don't panic, and there you go. So those are the auditorium judges. Okay, and yeah, we got everything. We're not going to do any total yet until we get the sight reading in. Sight reading is going to be the same thing, the same concept, just has a different page. Okay, I created a new sight reading sheet. So I put it in the folder with all the other judges and the recap. So if I open up the sight reading sheet, you'll see this information. And this is just from the judges sheet. So you're going to import the class and the school from the master recap. You can't do the time because the times are a little bit different. You can just put that in by hand. So once again, you're going to import the range. So we're going to start it with class. So equals import. There's import range, apostrophe, go to the recap page, copy and paste that web address, paste, quotation, comma, quotation, and then this is coming from the recap sheet. And you can look down, you can't see it. There it is right down there. It's labeled recap. So recap, exclamation point, and then I'm going to copy just the class and the school. So that's cells B5 through C12. Copy, paste, quotation, parentheses. Hover over that. You will allow access. And then you can add the times later. And I don't know why they can't make it so that these cells are all the same from before, but oh well. All right, and now the next step is that you're going to do the sum or the total. As soon as I fix that. All right, so click on the total. And if you want to do this right now, go ahead and put in the borders. All right, click on total for the first school. Click on the sum or equal sum. Highlight the cells you want to add. Hit return. There you go. Select that same formula for all the bands. Hit Command D. So it's got that same formula in each cell. And just make sure everything's working. That's a big score. That really bothers me. OCD kicks in when it comes to that type of organization. All right, that looks better. And then it will rank to the place as we did before. So equals rank. Click the first cell, comma, select the other cells, function F4 to get those dollar signs in, comma, 0, parentheses, return, autofill. And it ranks replaces each of the bands automatically. Again, no more addition errors. You can do the same thing down here so you can get your ranking. So I'll just type in score and place. And you use the query function for that. So equals Q. Sorry. Yeah, you can kind of see that. So equals Q, find query, which is the first one. Select the cells you want to import, or select all the available cells, I should say. Comma, quotation, select. So we'll do column C and J, K, and we'll order by column J descending. Quotation, parentheses, return, and it shows the judges where all the bands are ranked. Let's go Crook County. They need some love here. And there you go. So, and that's all the sight reading. Going back to now the, oops, yeah. And I labeled the sight room, I just put SR for the label. So going back to the master recap, you're now going to import down here all the scores. So select on that first cell, equal, import range, parentheses, the web page. And this is the sight reading, yep. Copy, paste, quotation, comma, quotation, tab name, which is SR, exclamation point, and we want all the scores, including the total, but not the place. So it's cells D4 through J11. Copy, paste this into the formula right down here. Quotation, parentheses. Don't panic. I panicked a lot when I saw that for the first time, because you'll get that too when you screw up. Then you just have to put in the entire new formula. So now you want to get this number over here to Jeff for the sight reading total. And if I remember correctly, I think I used the query function. So select the query function, and I'll just be selecting all this stuff, comma, quotation. I'm just going to do select. This is column J here. So I've just got these cells highlighted, and I'm going to do just all of column J, which is total. So I'll just do select J. That's all I have to do. Quotation, parentheses, and that's all set. Let's just make sure. Let's go to the sight reading page. Let's give Malala 1 point. There's Malala 1 point, one total 1, and total 1. So you've got all the judges' scores now. Now you're going to add those up. So click total, sum, and then I'm just going to hold the command key down and select Mary Lou's total and Eric's total, Tim's total, and Jeff's total. You need to see it here, H5, M5, R5, and S5. And hit return, autofill. And those are the total numbers of all the 3 auditorium judges and the sight reading room judge. And just make sure, let's go Gladstone 1, Give Gladstone 11 points. Go back to the master recap. There's the 11 points. There's 11 points total. And 45, 55 is, oh, I'm so brain. 100 plus 11 is 111. Yep, everything's there. Now you can do the placing. Remember, that's the rank function. If you can spell it. Rank. I'll do the total, comma, all the cells I want to have ranked. Function F4, comma, 0. So it's in order. Parentheses, return. I'll fill. You can put the time of music here if you like to. Now for the final ranking, you're going to use the query function. So equals Q. And we're going to just highlight all the schools and all their scores, including the place. So you see that's down here, C5 through U12. And let me just going to make this bigger so you can see it better. Okay, final rankings equals Q for query. Oh, I don't think I should have done that. Now I can't see what I want to have selected. We're going to select the schools. Okay, and now we're going to do the final ranking. So you're going to do the query function equals Q. Select query. Select all the information you want to draw from. So I make sure I have the schools. You can do the class too. Just put another column down here for class. It's up to you. So you've got C5 through U12, comma, space, quotations. I'm going to select space Mary Lou's total score, which is column H, comma, Eric is column M, comma, Tim is column R, and Wilson sight reading is column S. And then order by, oh, wait a second, I forgot it. I forgot the total. So then Wilson score is S, and then the total score we need is column T, the placing, column U, order by the total, which is column T, descending, DESC, quotation, parentheses, return. I didn't do the school. I forgot. We go back up here. I selected H, but I forgot to put the school in here. So I'm just going to put a comma, and then I need to, I need to select the name of the school. So that's column C, comma, then return. Ah, that's better. If you need to, just make that all a little bit smaller or make this one a little bit bigger. However you want. However you want to make that pretty. So now you've got all the score sheets done and the recap, and everything's auto-populated. You can, if you're going to do a blind recap, you can just copy this part down here and then paste it into another spreadsheet. But when you paste it, if you do a blind recap, it needs to be a paste special. That way you can delete some of the school's names if it's a blind, and they won't be able to see them when they go up to the whatever this thing is up here. I'm so tired. Okay, and that is all you need for the basic stuff. I would recommend you do a couple more steps. First step is you go to the judges page. Make this a little smaller. Actually, you don't need to. You want to make sure that the judges don't screw it up by try to type in the total or the rank. You don't want them to have access to those cells. So what you can do is, I got to refresh the page. That's better. Select the cells you don't want to have the judges deal with. As we're waiting, there we go. Ah, it's gone. So select those cells, go up to data, and go to protect sheets and ranges. And then here, we're going to set the permissions. I I haven't shared this with the other judges yet. I'll get there in a minute. But I'm going to select this so that only I can deal with changing anything around in here. You can also just show a warning. If someone edits it, it'll pop up and say, don't do this or something like that. But if you do restrict, they won't have access at all to those cells. And I'll give you access to all this too. If you want to be fancy as well, we can do the same thing here. So you don't, I've done this before. So you don't put in numbers. You can again select all of these cells with all these formulas. So you don't put in numbers accidentally. Because if you try to put in a number, it'll do this. Yeah, it screws it all up. You see that reference number. I'm just going to hit Control Z. So you can select these cells that you don't want to change any of that information in terms of the formulas. Same thing, go up to Data, Protect Sheets and Ranges. I'm on. I went too fast. Where's it at? Ah, it's over here. Set permissions. I'm just going to say, I do this so nobody can mess it up. So just me. Put that in there. Okay, now the fancy part, if you really want to be cool and spiffy, you can arrange it so that if a band scores so before if they get a 75 or above, excuse me, you can show those scores highlighted on this recap sheet. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go Madras. I'm just going to do a quick 77, and Estacada gets a 78, and that's fine. And what's that? Madras and Estacada. I apologize for the slow computer. Okay, Madras. Still waiting. Oops. Okay. So what you can do for the auditorium judges is you select the totals. So it is select, hit Command. So you select all these. And then you go up to Format, go to Conditional Formatting. Move over here so you can see it. And I'm going to format these cells so that if the score is greater than or equal to 75, I'm going to highlight it in yellow. So now, person who's doing the recap say, oh, yep, here's all these, here's the qualifying scores. This is something special. When you're done with everything, then you can go, do I have it here? Yeah. Now you want to share these sheets. So for Mary Lou Boderman, I'll go back to her. I just put her email address there just so I couldn't find it. Made it easier to find. Go to Boderman, click on share, put in her email address, and you can type a message into it or not. I would say have the judges get access to their sheets and practice with it beforehand, and then send it, and then um, they have access. And that's all you have to do. What I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to go to the web page, and since you're the contest chair, I'm going to give you access to everybody. So let me get your email address, copy that, go to Tri-Valley, click on those three dots. This way you have access to every judge. I mean, I could do it for every sheet, but that's too much. Hit share, and I'm going to make you an editor. So you can change all that stuff. You can play around with it. Video to come. And just send it to your school address. So I think that's everything. It goes much faster once you get used to all the formulas. It took me a long time to figure out what I was doing wrong because I learned via YouTube Academy. I didn't have anybody actually showing it. So I just did some trial and error, and now I can do it pretty quick. I took a little bit longer just trying to explain it to you, but hopefully that made sense. And feel free to call me if you have any questions, and I hope this works out for you.